Hello there, General Techno here with yet another video review. Continuing my look back at the Beast Wars line of toys, here's a look at the commemorative series 10th anniversary reissue that Hasbro did of the original Dinobot figure. Dinobot is pretty famous, so yeah, I'm not going to go much into him, and I'm eagerly anticipating his new universe mold, which I'll mention at the end of this review. Posability-wise, he's straightforward. He's got ball-jointed hands here. His mouth can open and close, so you can parrot him if you so choose to do. His legs move fully like this, out like this, and they move. The knees bend as well. Furthermore, his toes can also bend. That's more for his robot mode. Finally, he's got a gimmick here which doesn't work for me because to be honest, I actually busted the gimmick soon after getting him in it. After trying spring surgery, I ended up just busting it even further. So it doesn't really work, but the way it's supposed to work is you press the button and the tail spins. Now this is more something that's useful in robot mode. But yeah, here he is from the front and from the side, and you can see that one of the big negatives of this mold is that he's got his robot mode legs hanging off his beast mode. If you excise these from your mind, pretend that these aren't there, it's actually a pretty good raptor mode, but he's a raptor with legs hanging off his chest. Anyway, I'm going to go on with the transformation here. Well, before I do that, I'm just going to point out the tampoed maximal symbol right over here. It doesn't show up too well, but he's going to be a maximal in robot mode. We're going to start by pulling down the legs, bending out the beast mode legs here, and rotating these. This whole tail piece is going to come up, and we're going to pull out the tail for now. We're going to bend down the head like this into this center cavity here. Rotate the legs 180 degrees. Fold out the feet and fold out the spurs here. Again, fold out the ankle spur. It should be easy to fold out because the foot folds further than the ankle goes. Fold this little tab down. And as for these pieces here fold up. Turn around. This back piece here folds in, and we can lock these pieces in by just putting the beast mode hands in here. I don't know if this is really official, but it does lock these pieces in somewhat. Again, go back here, turn the legs 180, fold the hands, and presto, we have Beast Wars Dinobots robot mode. Now, as you can see, it's nowhere near the robot mode that he has on the show. That one cheats a lot, as you can probably notice just by playing the animation model, because all of his Dino mode kibble, it just magically disappears. Also, Dinobot does have a battle mask, which I removed ages ago because, well, I like my show accurate Dinobot, and the battle mask kind of gets in the way of the head. But what it is it's two halves which open up and they fold over, shut over his face to give it a bit of a dinosaur head. So apologies for not having that on hand. Posability-wise, he can move his arms, although this is one of the problems I have, that it tends to move these hold side pieces here unless you hold them in place when you're transforming him. They're very tight joints. He can move his hands out like this. He can bend his elbows, and he can open his hands to hold stuff. Legs, it's standard leg posability with ball joints. He's got knees, he's got legs, he's got feet. So posability-wise, he's pretty good. As for his weapons, to do his weapons, we take the tail, open it up, take out the sword, put his shield in one hand, and then we can take his sword, put the sword in the other. Now, this is another criticism I have. On mine, anyway, the shield doesn't like to stay open. At least one of the prongs doesn't. It likes to always fold down. It always likes to, if it's up top, it likes to fold down a bit. Yeah, he holds the weapons decently enough. They're pretty show accurate weapons. They got that right on the show compared to the toy. And the paint scheme is actually a lot closer to the original Dinobot on the TV show than the original color scheme had. Now here he is from the side, and this is one of my criticisms of this figure. Again, this is more because of the cheating that they did on the show, but he's got the big dino head hanging out here. Big, sticking out dino head. It's a similar issue to Cheetor. Not as bad as Cheetor's, but it's still there. Overall, though, kibble-wise in robot mode, he isn't too bad aside from that dino head hanging out there. I do have to say, though, I'm extremely excited for when Hasbro's coming out with their new Dinobot figure. Simply because, well, it has a few kibble issues here and there. It has some stuff hanging off the chest. But in both modes, it is a massive, massive, massive improvement over the original Dinobot figure. When I get that toy eventually, I'm going to do a comparison. There's some reviews up of it on YouTube now, but I'm planning on getting that. I'm planning on getting the Henkei version of that to try and compensate for the paint on it. And for some comparisons finally, here is Dinobot next to Cheetor. As you can see, they're both deluxes from the same year, about the same height. Here's Rat Trap added to the picture, if I can get him to stand. Again, going back to that mention of Rat Trap's video review. The scale between Dinobot and Rat Trap is actually pretty good, because Dinobot towers over a lot of the Maximals, so he's supposed to be taller than Rat Trap. And I suppose in that respect he's kind of short because he should be taller than everybody, Primo included. And if you go watch my Cheetor or Rat Trap reviews, you'll see just how tall Primal towers over everybody. Anyway, that's pretty much it for my Dinobot review. Would I recommend this figure to you? Now, normally I would. Dinobot, he's a great character. That's good enough reason to pick up this mold. This mold replicates a lot of the stuff he does. It looks alright. The paint job's good. I'd recommend either the recent Takara version of this, or the Hasbro one if you don't have as much money, because the Hasbro one looks pretty good, but Takara's goes a bit further with the show accuracy. But on the other hand, there's that Universe version that I mentioned, which is coming out very, very soon, which looks awesome and fills a lot of my Dinobot void. However, that Universe version doesn't have as good a paint job as this one, in my opinion, in terms of show accuracy. And I'm looking to Takara in their Henkei version of that Dinobot. I'm anticipating that theirs will be far more show accurate than Hasbro's is. So ideally then, that will be the definitive Dinobot. But until all that comes out and is available to people who don't buy stolen Chinese toys, this is going to be the best Dinobot on the market. Coincidentally, also the only real representation of the original Dinobot. Anyway, this is General Techno, signing off.